My name is Shauna Fisher. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the co-chair of the Baltimore Action Team. Here are some highlights from the past year of JUFJ's work in Baltimore. Back in November 2019, the Baltimore City Council passed the historic Water Accountability and Equity Act, which JUFJ and our partners in the Right to Water Coalition painstakingly drafted and organized support for. The ordinance established an income-based water affordability program, the second in the country, making water permanently affordable for the lowest income residents of Baltimore. This February, the Water for All program finally launched for all Baltimore residents, including renters who were previously ineligible. As this long-delayed program ramps up, we and our partners have been diligently working on implementation and public education so that everyone knows about the program and can have access to this basic human need. Over the past year, JUFJ and our partners in the Baltimore Renters United Coalition worked tirelessly to keep people housed by testifying before the City Council and sending hundreds of emails to elected leaders, highlighting unconstitutional eviction practices by the sheriff and the difficulty renters were having in getting emergency rental assistance to avoid eviction. Because of Brew's advocacy, the City Council cut $500,000 of funding from the sheriff's office. And Mayor Scott has committed to allocating $400,000 to support education and outreach efforts to let people know about the right to counsel and eviction programs, which we and our partners successfully advocated for a couple of years ago. Despite federal rental assistance money made available during the early part of the pandemic, Baltimore renters couldn't access that money without their landlord's cooperation. Brew worked to get the city to change its regulations to give funds directly to tenants in need. We are currently working with council members on various pieces of legislation to require landlords to meet basic habitability standards through strengthening rental licensing laws, to grant tenants the right to purchase their apartment buildings as a collective if their landlords want to sell, and to require that developers who receive government aid create affordable housing units. As a member of Brew's steering committee, JUFJ has worked to support the growth of the organization over the past year by raising more than $130,000, which financed a strategic planning process and allowed the organization to hire 2 full-time organizers and a third who is a fellow through Equal Justice Works. We've been working with our partners in the Campaign for Justice, Safety, and Jobs to demand local community oversight of the Baltimore Police since 2015, and there were several milestones this year. While state legislation to strengthen the Civilian Review Board did not pass, CJSJ's advocacy, including hundreds of emails to city and state elected officials, phone calls, op-eds, letters to the editor, and press conferences, did lead the City Council to pass a city ordinance to instead create a police accountability board, which included many of the strengthening amendments we and our partners advocated for. During the city's budget process, we engaged dozens of JUFJ community members in learning more about the budget and about the movement to divest local police and reinvest in Black and Brown communities. Some JUFJers provided public testimony for the first time, and we met with multiple City Council members and City Comptroller Bill Henry to discuss our priorities and our partners' priorities for public safety funding. This year also saw the results of a bill that we, CJSJ, and other statewide partners in the Maryland Coalition for Justice and Police Accountability supported to return control of the Baltimore Police Department to the city, as it is currently a state agency. This bill passed in the 2021 General Assembly session, and this summer, Mayor Scott signed a charter amendment to put it on the ballot in November. In October, JUFJ joined partners at CASA and CJSJ to canvass Baltimore voters in support of this question. On Election Day, voters overwhelmingly voted to approve Question H to restore local control of BPD. There's more work to be done to enact local control, but this was a big win on the path to doing so. Outside of our core Baltimore City campaigns, we also testified in support of public financing for Baltimore County elections, a campaign we have participated in Baltimore City, Montgomery County, and DC as well. Last December, the Fair Elections Fund bill passed, bringing fairer, cleaner elections to Baltimore County and ensuring that everyday people have a voice in government. This past spring, our Baltimore director, Molly Amster, became the first JUFJ staff member to take advantage of our new paid sabbatical policy. And while she was out, our Baltimore community organizer, Rachel Cutler, had a beautiful baby. Many thanks to Rihanna Eckel, our longtime partner in the Right to Water Coalition, and one of our Maryland organizers, Matan Zemmer, for stepping in to run our Baltimore campaigns while Molly and Rachel took some much needed time away from work.